Overview. The Whale is a drama directed by Darren Aronofsky, based on the play of the same name by Samuel D. Hunter. The film follows Charlie, a man with morbid obesity who lives isolated in his apartment, cut off from the world and his own family. Charlie tries to reconnect with his estranged daughter while dealing with guilt, loneliness, and his deteriorating health. Brendan Fraser portrays Charlie, delivering a deep and sensitive performance that explores human vulnerability and the search for redemption. What works? Brendan Fraser's performance. Fraser is at the peak of his career here, bringing humanity, fragility, and empathy to the character. Intense script. The film focuses on dialogue and emotional conflicts, allowing an exploration of trauma, regret, and family relationships. Universal themes, loneliness, reconciliation, forgiveness, and acceptance are treated honestly and impactfully. What does not work as well? Limited pacing. Most of the story takes place in Charlie's apartment, which may feel claustrophobic or repetitive to some viewers. Heavy focus. On drama, those looking for action or external development may find it lacking in dynamism. Curiosities of the movie The Whale, 2022. Brendan Fraser's performance was widely praised and marked a major comeback in his career after years away from leading roles. The film is based on a stage play by Samuel D. Hunter, who also wrote the screenplay for the movie. To portray Charlie, Brendan Fraser wore a prosthetic suit to realistically represent his character's size and physical struggles. The director, Darren Aronofsky, is known for his intense character studies, and The Whale continues this trend with a focus on emotional depth and confinement. The movie was filmed almost entirely in a single apartment, emphasizing the character's isolation and internal struggle. Sadie Sink, known from Stranger Things, plays Charlie's estranged daughter, adding emotional intensity to the story. The film sparked discussions about the representation of obesity in cinema and the ethical considerations of using prosthetics versus casting actors with the condition. Lessons from The Whale, 2022. The power of forgiveness. The film highlights how reconciliation and forgiving ourselves and others can bring healing, even after years of estrangement. The consequences of isolation. Charlie's story shows the emotional and physical toll of withdrawing from the world and avoiding human connections. The importance of empathy, understanding. People's struggles, even if you do not share their experiences, can create compassion and connection. Facing personal responsibility. The movie emphasizes taking accountability for past actions and their effects on loved ones. The value of love and connection. Despite mistakes and hardships, meaningful relationships can be a source of hope and transformation. Self-acceptance. Learning to accept oneself, including flaws and limitations, is a central theme of the story. The movie The Whale, 2022, had a production budget of $3 million and earned over $50 million worldwide. The movie The Whale, 2022, received generally positive reviews from critics, with a 69% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and was highly praised by audiences, earning a 91% approval rating. Now here's our opinion.
I was excited to watch this movie as soon as it was released, because one of my favorite actors from the 1990s, Brendan Fraser, returns in this film. Brendan Fraser, who starred in the classic The Mummy movies, has always been, in my opinion, an excellent actor, very charismatic, and I miss him all these years when he disappeared from the cinema. So I was happy to see him back in this movie, and I was even happier to learn that the movie was a success. So, of course, I was not going to miss watching it, since it features the return of one of my favorite actors from the 1990s. So, I watched it, and the impression the movie gave me is, when you are watching a theater play, and one actor leaves, then another actor enters. It is all, in a way, a kind of synchronization, and the movie works exactly like that. It feels like you are watching a theater play. One character leaves, and immediately another enters. And this feeling is not by chance because the film actually originated from a stage play with the same name, The Whale. Not that this element bothered me in the movie, I just found it unusual. One character leaves, and another enters. But one thing I found very interesting in this movie is all the reflection it brings about. Religion and accepting who we are. The movie criticizes religion in a thoughtful way, raising intelligent questions. And I think it is very important to address these topics in the film. In other words, the movie also serves as a critique of religion, of the teachings we know from the Bible, and brings a perspective on God's intentions. But without criticizing or offending religion, it just presents a point of view, some questions to consider. It is very important to pay attention to the characters' conversations because they carry these messages, these lessons that we can take into life and also reflect on some aspects of life, including religion. And I really like the movie. My advice is to pay attention to the conversations. They carry important messages though. Yes, I almost forgot to mention one thing. The film also caused controversy because it deals with the issue of obesity. But obesity in the movie is more of a secondary aspect. As it represents a consequence, the character suffers from depression. And one way he copes with it is by eating excessively and experiencing the consequences of that overeating. So, many obese people felt offended by having this obese character suffering. Keep in mind that he was suffering because of depression, of course also because of obesity. But obesity is secondary, in any case. I do not understand why obese people felt offended by the film. This also comes from the issue of romanticizing obesity, which, in my opinion, does not exist. Obesity is a disease. Yes, it is not normal. So, we should not romanticize it. It is always good to have a movie like this, for example, that criticizes the effects of being obese. So, not only does the movie have powerful and philosophical messages, but it also brings a critique of obesity and the care you should take regarding it. So, those people who complain, I did not like the movie because it portrayed obesity in a negative way, that is nonsense. There is nothing good about being obese. So, for those more sensitive about obesity, my suggestion is grow some self-respect and lose weight because being obese is not healthy. But it is a deep film, it brings up important issues, and I even felt it deserved more. I mainly liked the movie because of this. It addresses all these sensitive subjects like religion and obesity in the most rational and truthful way possible, without romanticizing anything. That's all for now. If everything goes well, see you in the next video. Until then.
You can,
Money in the mailbox.
yeah.